What's up, everyone? Welcome in to week 11 of the Lowdown. Last week's record was 11-7, bringing the yearly record to 102-35. The upset of the week crashed and burned again. Had K-State upset in Texas, and that did not happen. So that falls to 6-9. Had a little bit of a slump there with the upset of the weeks. First of all, I want to say something about Alabama. A lot of people were talking about how the coordinator should be fired and is the program falling apart and this and that. I mean, look, man, they lost two tough games the last seconds. Could have gone in favor for them. Didn't work out that way. Bryce Young's been banged up. He hasn't been practicing. So I listened to Coach Saban do a radio show earlier this week and wanted to see what he was thinking. And he was just talking about how Bryce not practicing is kind of not been good for the team. And also the team has been making mental errors. And we've kind of seen that all year. I mean, and I just want to say this, making a mental error, that's not a coach's fault. That's a player's fault. I mean, so if you don't do what you're supposed to do in a play call, then that's your fault. And that's all there is to it. The coach didn't do that. He told you what to do and you didn't do it. They've had too many penalties. They've had missed field goals. They've had jumping off sides. They've had poor tackling, so it's just uncharacteristic things. I still think Alabama's a good football team. And I just wanted to say this, considering the amount of coaches that have been taken from Nick Saban's staff over the years and the amount of consistency they've had with winning, it's been pretty remarkable. And what they've done and what Nick Saban has done over the last 15 years or so down there has been truly remarkable. And I don't know if it'll ever be done again in college football, especially with the present day college football. You have the transfer portal, you have the NIL stuff. All this stuff is affecting, I think, continuity of football teams and programs. Now it's becoming more of a free agent race to build your team and see what it can do before other guys leave or go pro or things like that. So it's a whole different game now. It's a whole different game, and I don't like it personally. But then again, I'm a fan of people making money and using their talents to make money. That's what God blessed you with. Go make money, what God blessed you to do with. So, but I also think that, as far as coaching goes, it's becoming a lot more difficult to manage a roster. I mean, therefore, do you go recruit a kid that might have more talent, or do you recruit a kid that's talented, but it might take a year or two to develop, but wants and loves your program and wants to stay in the program? I mean, I just think we're teaching young athletes to kind of be selfish. I mean, to be honest, and that's not that's not what a team is about, and that's not what winning a championship is about. You don't win championships and succeed on teams by being selfish. You win by being a team player and doing everything in your power to help the team win and succeed. So I just firing the coaches right now and firing the coordinators. I mean, Bill O'Brien called offense for the Heisman Trophy winner last year. Is it Bill O'Brien's fault that Jamison Williams got hurt? John Mechie got hurt? That's not. Those are two great players. And you just can't replace guys like that. I mean, I don't care what star they are. I mean, if stars are irrelevant. They don't matter. I mean, what matters is when a guy gets out of high school and goes to college, can he play or not? Can he hang getting his ass kicked by older guys? Will he stay in the program and get better? I mean, I think you're better off staying in Alabama for 2 or 3 years than you are transferring from school to school to school. Stay in the program and get better. You're gonna do that at Alabama. You're gonna do that at other schools too. But I just think it's a lot more difficult for coaches to manage their rosters nowadays. And I think it's going to start making coaches, go after those kids that really, really want to play for you and really want to play at your school. I mean, but Alabama fans, I mean, what your team has accomplished over the last 15, 16 years has been incredible. So there are plenty of other programs and plenty of other fan bases that would take your success any day of the week. So, it's not necessarily all the coordinator's fault. It's the players too. I mean, the players play the game. So, and so anyway, well, that's being said, let's move on to the games. Colorado at USC. Colorado is terrible. I think Jordan Addison's back for USC. I expect Caleb Williams and Travis Dye to have a big, big day, and I look for USC to roll. I'll say 52-21. Indiana at Ohio State. I tell you what, I wasn't really impressed with Ohio State last week. I mean, well, those are some bad playing conditions. They played in the wind was blowing. It was kind of rainy. Northwestern, I don't know what's happened to Northwestern. I thought they were going to be a pretty good team when I watched them early in the season, but they're just not any good. But Indiana, they've had too many injuries this season, so I'm gonna go Ohio State big. I'll say Ohio State 48, Indiana 17. Missouri at Tennessee. I mentioned it before earlier in the season, and I mentioned it last week. I thought the key to stopping Tennessee is stopping the running game, and Georgia did that. And they kept Hendon Hooker in the pocket. They hit him. They forced fumbles. They forced bad throws. That Georgia defense came to eat, and they did. And I think Tennessee, they're the better team here, no doubt. But it's going to be interesting to see where their mindset is, because they still got a lot to play for. They lost a tough game on the road in a hostile environment against the defending national champs. It is what it is. I think the big play in that game was Hooker's pass that was intercepted to Cedric Tillman by Keely Ringo. That was a huge play in the game. If they hit that play, Tennessee's in the game. So, but moving forward, I think you've seen a blueprint of how to stop Tennessee. You got to take out that run game first, though. That's the key. Missouri's got a good run defense. I don't know if they're going to be able to score enough points, but this could be a dangerous game. Weather could come into play too. Tropical storm Nicole, weather could come into play all over the place. So keep that in mind. Rain, wind, cold, temperatures, all that's about to start coming into play. With that said, I like Tennessee 37, Missouri 17. LSU at Arkansas. LSU, what a tremendous victory for them last weekend over Alabama. Gutsy call by Brian Kelly to go for the 2-point conversion. But they need to be careful in this game. This is always an historically tight game. It's always an entertaining game. I think LSU has got the momentum. I like the way they're playing. Jaden Daniels has been great at quarterback. Their coordinator hires have been fantastic. Their coordinators are calling great plays. Matt House, especially the defensive coordinator, the way he's attacking and using his athletes on defense has been really impressive. Like LSU here, I think this is going to be an entertaining game. I like LSU. I like the way they're playing. I'm going to go LSU high-scoring game, 38, Arkansas 30. Notre Dame at Navy. What a great win by Notre Dame last week. And how in the hell Clemson is still ranked in the top 10, I have no idea. But the college football playoff rankings, they're sitting there at number 10, and I just do not understand that one bit. Notre Dame's really playing well right now. Always a good game between Notre Dame and Navy, usually. But I'm going to go Notre Dame 34, Navy 17. Illinois went down last week to Michigan State. That really surprised me. Brett Bielema has that team playing well. I was really shocked by that. Aiden O'Connell's a really good quarterback there for Purdue, but Purdue's really not having a good year. I like Chase Brown to have a big game in this game, running the football for the Illini, and I like Illinois to bounce back. But I think this is going to be a tight game. I'm going to say Illinois 27, Purdue 23. Vandy at Kentucky. Vandy. Kentucky, man, their problem is their offensive line play. I mean, they're just not getting really good offensive line play. Will Levis is getting hit too much. I think Kentucky's only scoring about 24 points a game. So I expect some points for them this weekend. I think they roll against Vandy. I'll say 37 to 14. Nebraska at Michigan. Look, nobody's talking about Michigan. Michigan's a good football team. They have an outstanding offensive line. And when you have an outstanding offensive line, you can control games. And I think weather's going to start coming into play with their games. I like the way J.J. McCarthy's playing. Blake Corum is having one of the best seasons of anybody in the country at running back. There's, let's see, 16 touchdowns. I like Michigan big here. I don't think the quarterback for Thompson is going to play for Nebraska. I'm not sure about that, not 100%, but I don't think he is. I like Michigan to roll here. I'll say Michigan 47, Nebraska 13. Alabama at Ole Miss. Ole Miss has had a week off, 2 weeks to prepare. Alabama is almost a 2-touchdown favorite. That's a big line. The one thing I think to watch in this game is who's going to play better defense. And I mean, Ole Miss, their defense isn't that good, so Alabama should be able to score and score often. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have a big game. Bryce Young should have a big game. High scoring game here. I've been leaning Ole Miss, so I think Bama, it would not shock me at all if Bama wins. I mean, it would not shock me at all just because Ole Miss's defense. I think Alabama's got a couple more playmakers on their defense, but I'm going to lean Ole Miss here just because of the bye week. So Ole Miss 45, Alabama 42. Maryland at Penn State. Penn State offense really caught fire last weekend. Sean Clifford there had a big day on the ground for Penn State. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Maryland can score. We're there with Talia Tagovailoa. He's having a big day. I mean, a big year passing. So I'm going to go Maryland 20. Actually, Maryland 30, Penn State 37. UCF at Tulane. Tulane's had a big year. 8-1, 5-0 in the American Conference. John Reeves Plumlee, though, playing really well there for UCF. I think this is going to be a really, really entertaining game, high-scoring game. I'll give the edge to Tulane, though, at home. I'll say Tulane 37, UCF 34. Georgia at Mississippi State. Bulldogs look like the Bulldogs last weekend. And, boys, I tell you what, big games, Kirby Smart's money. I mean, that's just all there is to it. He gets his guys focused. That dude is always coaching, too. Always coaching. I think they were working on Tennessee probably a couple of weeks ago. They had a really good game plan for them defensively, kept the Tennessee Vols receivers in front of them, and they hit them. They tackled. They hit. They were physical, played Georgia football. I mean, that's just all there is to it. Brock Bowers had a big day in the passing game. Stetson Bennett, call me. Good job, Tennessee fans, by the way. Mississippi State here. This could be an interesting game if Mississippi State's throwing the football well. If Mississippi State's throwing the football well, I think this could be an entertaining / interesting game. That being said, Georgia's pretty good against this style of offense. And just kind of like Alabama, they're just kind of built to stop this kind of offense. So I'm going to go Georgia 33, Mississippi State 14. Washington at Oregon. Points are going to be scored galore. Michael Penix Jr., Washington, I think he leads the country in passing. He has 3,232 yards passing and 23 TDs. You got Bo Nix, who is a Heisman Trophy candidate. Woo! Heisman Trophy candidate, Bo Nix. And I like the Ducks here to roll. Think the last game they played at home against UCLA, they scored on every offensive possession. So look for a lot of points in this game. I'm going to go Oregon 57, Washington 37. Kansas State at Baylor. Boy, Kansas State's really let me down here the last couple of weeks. I was really high on them after they beat Oklahoma. Just not getting it done for me anymore, though. So I'm gonna go Baylor here. Baylor gets the win over K-State, 30-27. Big game in a Big 12. TCU at Texas. TCU has historically, the last few years, owned this game. I'm not sure if Quentin Johnston's going to play for TCU. He's their big-time wide receiver. Think he's supposed to play? Not sure, though. Max Duggins had a heck of a year there at quarterback for TCU. But Bijan Robinson, Texas's running back. I've loved this kid ever since I first watched him play as a true freshman. He's a big kid. I think he's rushed for 100 yards in 7 straight games. He went over 200 last week against K-State. The dude is a machine. Quinn Ewers there back at quarterback for Texas. One thing to keep an eye on for the Longhorns, they got a really good defensive line, and they're really good at stopping the run. And TCU is good at running the football, so that's going to be a huge deciding factor in this game. Can Texas bottle up TCU's running game? I think the crowd's going to be off the hook, and I like Texas. I don't think TCU is going to be able to come back this week, so I like Texas. I'm going to go Texas 37, TCU 27. North Carolina at Wake Forest. Dustin May there playing great there for North Carolina. North Carolina's playing really well, 8-1, 5-0 in the ACC. You're looking at the Tar Heels maybe winning the ACC this year would be a remarkable achievement under Mac Brown there. I like the way the Tar Heels are playing. Battle of 2 really good quarterbacks. Sam Hartman there for Wake Forest. Let's see here. Wake Forest is favored. I'm going to go upset of the week right here. I'm going to take the Tar Heels, and in a high-scoring game, I'm going to say 37-34. Tar Heels, upset of the week. Tar Heels, upset of the week. FSU at Syracuse, big one in the ACC. Syracuse is kind of taking a step back here lately. Florida State playing well, scoring points. Jamar Travis having a big year there for the Noles at quarterback. I like the way they're playing right now. I think this is going to be a heck of a game. I'll give the edge to FSU in a nail-biter, 33-30. Utah hosting Stanford. Night game, 9 p.m. ESPN. Utah, very good team at home. Cameron Rising really playing well there. Thomas, the running back, playing well. Stanford, up and down year. Don't know what you're going to get out of them. I like Utah here. I like Utah 45, Stanford 20. Finally, Arizona at UCLA. Dorian Thompson-Robinson there playing really well for UCLA. UCLA, they got boat raced by Oregon, but they've bounced back and playing well. I'm going to go UCLA here, 48, Arizona 24. All right, guys. Well, good luck to your teams this week. My SEC standings are on lowdownsports.com. Also, I'm doing college basketball stuff on Auburn, previews and recaps on fieldlevelmedia.com. Also doing some Memphis Grizzlies stuff for them and some Atlanta Falcons stuff for them. So check out fieldlevelmedia.com. They preview pretty much every game in every sport, whether it's college basketball, NBA, NFL, college football. Really good website. Go check it out. Up and coming company. And like I said, good luck to your teams this week. Weather will come into play probably a lot of places, so keep that in mind. And with that said, I'll be back and see y'all next week. Thank y'all.